Hello everyone, welcome to today's live stream. We're going to be talking about some more past tense. So we're going to go ahead and do the first one today. 더라고요. And the way you use it is you just take a verb stem and you attach 더라고요. You are done. First of all, it's past tense. This is not the 라고요 for quoting. Let's take the verb 하다. The verb stem is just 하더라고요. 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 He or she did it. This is now past tense. This one is past tense only when you have personally witnessed something. Personally heard or saw. You might say it's something like to recall. You can think of this form as adding the meaning to your sentence of, I recall that, like that. Like, I recall he did it. I recall it tasted good. I recall it was cold. The difference between just using regular past tense and using this one emphasizes that you're realizing something. So it's like, this happened, I personally saw it or heard it, and I recall that this happened, I realized something. So maybe that's, surprise. And it surprised me. Or just, some kind of moment like that where you realize something that you didn't know. It adds the meaning of surprise to your sentence. So realizing something that you didn't know that happened in the past, that you personally heard or saw. Something tasted good. 맛있었어요. It was good. Now let's contrast that with 맛있더라고요. This 맛있 part is just the regular conjugation. We're not using the past tense. We're not saying 맛있었더라고요. When you're using 더라고, if you're using a descriptive verb, only use the regular verb stem in the present tense. Don't use past tense. 더라고요 adds the meaning of past already. If you're using an action verb, however, you can use either the present tense or the past tense. First, here's just two examples. 맛있었어요. It was good. 맛있더라고요. It tasted good. This one just simply says it tasted good. So this is also the flavor was good, and I didn't expect that. I realized that. It surprised me. 날씨가 춥더라고요. I recall that the weather was cold, and it surprised me. Past tense, the weather was cold. However, this can have the meaning of both past and present. What I mean by that is this. In context, this 더라고요 form attached to just the present tense descriptive verb can mean both the weather is cold, I recall the weather is cold, or I recall the weather was cold. Adding 더라고요 shows 100% that this is your personal experience. Some personal witness of something happening. You've heard something or seen it directly yourself, but the actual verb itself could be something that still applies. Like, is Korea cold in the winter? 진짜 날씨가 춥더라고요. 춥더라고. Even though it is always cold in the winter, you could still say 춥더라고요. It is cold in the winter. It doesn't have to translate to English as it was cold in the winter. Then the person listening will know, oh, he has personal experience of that. You wouldn't say 춥더라고요 if you read on the internet that it's cold in Korea. You had to have personally experienced it. So if you were to say this, it would be like saying, yeah, I recall it is really cold in the winter. Or if you're talking about how was Korea during the winter, 춥더라고요 is really cold. This can mean is or was, both present tense and past tense. However, when you're working with action verbs, we can do something else. You can use both past or present, and that will depend on what you're trying to say. 철수 한국 음식을 좋아했. He liked Korean food. So I recall that Charsu liked Korean food, and it surprised me. I realized that Charsu liked Korean food, and I recall that. This experience that you're recalling was past tense. He liked Korean food. But you can also just do this. 철수 씨가 한국 음식을 좋아하더라고요. So we're still in the past tense. 철수 still liked Korean food because you have to have this experience. You have a personal experience. And if you have an experience of something, it means it's something in the past. So I have the experience of, I recall that something surprised me. Charsu really likes Korean food. He likes it. He still likes it. You still have an experience of Charsu liking that food. But now it's no longer past tense. It's also present tense. He still likes it, but you're still talking about the past tense because you're using this form. How would you say this? I recall him leaving already. 벌써 나가더라고. If you put 벌써 나가더라고요, you're perfect. I recall him leaving. If you had put 나가더라고요, you would also be correct, but the meaning would be he left. I recall him leaving and I recall he left. Here's the slight difference. I recall him leaving. Well, what is leaving? Well, he's getting his things together. He's going to open the door. He's walking to the door. I recall he left. That's him. He's got his things. He's gone out the door. He is no longer in the building. It's a slight difference, but there is still a difference between using one form or the other. You're not going to use this for yourself. 제가 같더라고요. This is wrong. You're not going to recall something that you did yourself. There are some examples when it can be, but they're very few and far between. This is used for something that you're recalling. You're remembering something that you personally experienced that I recall. You wouldn't say, I recall that I went to Korea last year and it surprised me. You would just say, I went to Korea last year. It's unnecessary and awkward to use 더라고 about things that you did. Your feelings are okay. So you could say something like this. 슬프더라고. I was so sad. Like it surprised me how sad I got. 철수 씨가 한국어를 잘 하더라고요. I recall that 철수 speaks Korean well. 하더라고요. Speaks. Yeah, he speaks Korean pretty well because I've met him before and heard him speak Korean, and it surprised me. I didn't expect he'd speak Korean that well. 여름에 한국이 in summer, Korea 정말 really 덥더라고요. Korea is so hot in the summer, and I have a personal experience to know that, and I realized it. Like, I didn't expect that. It surprised me. Let's go on to another one. 영화가 정말 아주 재밌더라고요. So I recall that the movie was fun. I recall that because I personally saw it, and it surprised me. 철수한테 물어봤지만 모르더라고. I asked Charsu, but he doesn't know. I recall I asked him and he doesn't know. We could also say 몰랐더라고요. He didn't know. But here we're just saying, yeah, I asked Charsu and he doesn't know. Sometimes you might see just 돌아. It's the exact same meaning as 더라고요. This one is only for casual. It cannot be made polite. It's actually a little bit more casual than 더라고 because it's more emphatic. It's a little bit stronger sounding. Let's move on. 더니. Here's the secret to understanding 더니. First we have 더. 더 by itself means past experience. Then we have the second part, 니까, because. So because of some past experience, something else happened. So this is a sentence connector. So it goes in the middle of a sentence. So because the first part happened, this is what happens afterward. If you're using descriptive verbs, only use the present tense with action verb. You can use present tense or past tense depending on which one fits better with the meaning of your sentence. The first way to use 더니, it's just a sentence connector, connects two sentences and contrasts them. So it contrasts two sentences. So one sentence happens and then this sentence happens and these two sentences are now contrasted. This sentence and this sentence. So that can sometimes mean this sentence and this sentence or this sentence but this sentence. But you get this on one hand. Well, how about this? That's how it contrasts two sentences. It also still has the meaning of a personal experience. By contrasting these two sentences, you are showing that was unexpected or surprising. 철수 is he's always normally busy, 바쁘더니 이번 주는 this week 시간이 많이 써요. There is a lot of time. More naturally, he has a lot of time. So 철수's normally busy, but this week he has a lot of time. And that surprises me. Now this 더니, here it is, it's a personal experience. So you have personally experienced seeing 철수 be normally very busy. 작년 여름도, so last year's summer, 덥더니. Last year's summer was hot. Contrast with 이번 여름은 훨씬 더 덥다. So last summer was hot, but this summer is even hotter. Last year's summer, I was there. It was really hot. But what surprised me was 이번 여름은 훨씬 더 덥다. Last week, it keeps raining, I recall. So I recall last week it kept raining. On the other hand, contrast. What surprised me was this week, 하늘이 맑아요. I recall last week that it just kept raining. It surprises me because it's really clear. Let me give you one more sentence. 영희 also, to the wedding ceremony, 가고 싶다고. So she also said that she wanted to go to the wedding ceremony. 하더니 is just 말하더니, so said. And I recall, because I heard her say this. 갑자기 연락이 안 되네요. 연락이 안 되다 means contact does not become, or something is not contacted, to be not contacted. 영희 said she wanted to go to the wedding too, but now all of a sudden I can't even contact her. She said she wanted to go to the wedding. I heard her say that, but what surprised me was all of a sudden I can't get in touch with her. The second usage of 더니 is as also a sentence connector. It's also something that you have a past experience, and it means because something happened, So it shows because of something, this is the result. This is where the 더니 form really shows off that it's a combination of 더 and 니. 더, past tense, 니, because. Because of this past action. This form shows a larger result. This one is a stronger way of showing that there is a result of something happening. This puts more emphasis on the result of what happened. If you want to think of a good translation, so A, and now, because of A, B. So it kind of brings more of the emphasis toward B. So you say, oh, I ate a lot of food and now my stomach hurts. So now, like, it's a bigger result. So 철수 씨가 만든 김밥. The 김밥 철수 made. 먹었더니, I ate it. And as a result, and now, 배가 아파요. So I ate 철수's 김밥 and now my stomach hurts. Until late, worked. I worked until late. I personally experienced working until late. And as a result of that, and now, I caught a cold. Directly as a result of this. 운동을 했더니, I exercised. And as a result, 다리에 힘이 없어요. So I have no strength in my legs. But this is how you'd say my legs are dead. 제가 2시간 동안 운동을 했더니 I exercised for 2 hours and as a result of that, I can't stand up. 아까 짠 음식을 많이 먹었더니 So I had eaten a lot of salty food and as a result of that, now, 지금, right now, 물을 많이 마시고 싶어요. I want to drink a lot of water. I just ate a lot of salty food and now I want to drink a lot of water. If you're talking about yourself, use past tense. If you're talking about someone else, use present tense. In my sentence, I'm going to end it with 됐군요. 군요 is a verb ending that shows surprise, that shows realization of something, that you've just realized something like, hey, I realized, wow, I realized he just became a Korean teacher. This 군요 form will often appear together with 더니. Billy really likes Korean. And what surprised me is, and he became a Korean teacher, and I realized that, wow, it surprised me. I'm just adding this to show extra surprise. Or if you look at it the second way, because Billy really likes Korean, 한국어 선생님이 됐군요. He became a Korean teacher. It could seem like it means either or, right? In some cases, you can think of the sentences as meaning both, like and, but, or because. I mean, you might say, oh, it looks like it's a little bit more of the second one because, it really seems like more of a cause and effect. So I studied Korean every day, and as a result of studying Korean every day, I became 완전, completely, extremely good at Korean. So I studied Korean every single day, and as a result, I became extremely good at Korean. So I made the kimbap too spicy. 제가 김밥을 너무 too much 맵게 만들었더니 아무도 안 먹었어요. No one ate it. I made the kimbap so spicy, and now no one ate it. As a result of that, no one ate it. So 더니. So you might see, it's 다더니. Instead of 많더니, you might see 많다더니. It's a quoting form. All it is it's just shortened from the plain form which ends in ta, and then the quoting form 하더니 from speaking. So it's just someone said 더니. Somebody says 많다. There are a lot. It's just a combination of quoting form with 더니. So that's it. 그럼 다음에 또 봐.